Sometimes, instead of a neutral and monotone theme and color palette, you just want something bright and colorful to give something fun to your routine. And that's exactly what I did in this setup. I'm using very cute and detailed stickers, and I'm doing a very bright and colorful color palette to match the colors on those stickers. Hi, I'm Juliana and welcome back to another video, and today we are setting up July in my mom's bullet journal. If you don't know yet, I'm Portuguese, so I write everything in my mom's bujo in Portuguese as well, because she doesn't understand English very well, but don't worry, I will translate the words and the meanings as I go. So I actually didn't have a theme in mind for this setup, so when I got the part 2 of this Patreon theme in the mail from Runa Maruti the day before I filmed this video, I knew that was a sign, so I went for it. This theme is called Fairy Tailor Shop. It's very cute, it has fairies of course, it has small animals in cute costumes, and it has all these beautiful stickers full of details. And from the sticker sheet you can already tell that this theme is pretty much purple, pink, and it has some accents in green, so that was the color palette I went for. I tried to match the colors the best I could to the stickers, and I think I did a good job on that. You know that when I have many stickers and materials to use on a theme, I usually do collages, and that's exactly what I did on this one as well. For the cover spread, I went with my most used layout when I'm doing collages, that is using a full colored paper on the left page, because that's where I'm going to put a quote, and then I'm doing a very centered collage on the right page, and this way I can have this full spread very balanced. For the things I'm using on the collage, I have some papers, some have pink accents, some have green accents, and some are just a solid cream color, and I'm also using this pink lace PET tape from the washi tape shop to tie in with the lace details on the stickers. For the washi tapes, I'm using solid colors in lilac and light green, and that's because I didn't want any more textures on the collages. With the papers and the lace PET tape, it makes the collage already busy, and the stickers are very detailed, so I wanted something more solid and neutral in texture to really contrast with all those different things. If you want something that I'm using on this setup, everything will be linked down below, together with some discount codes for some of the shops. For the title, I went with these green letters from Ikigai Papier, and I think it fits the vibe quite well. Then for the quote, I went with one that is on the bookmark from this theme, but I translated it to Portuguese. So the original quote in English is "Dress like a fairy and feel the magic within you," which translates to Portuguese, and it is "Veste-te como uma fada e sente a magia dentro de ti." And I tried to do my very best to make it centered on the page. And to finish off this spread, I'm using some of the smaller stickers to fill in the gaps. Moving on to the next one, here we have the calendar spread. For this one, I'm kinda adding floating shelves to the calendar, and what I mean by this is that instead of writing each number inside each calendar box, I'm adding this extra row on top of each week, and that's where I'm going to write the days of the month. And this was just an excuse to add all 3 colors that I wanted to use on this theme, so I alternated between the purple, the pink and the green, and I purposefully made this sequence to make sure the green was the least used color, because as I said before, green is only the accent color on this theme, so I didn't want a lot of green on the spreads, just enough to make it look like it's part of the color palette. But the predominant colors are always purple and pink. I'm using the same gel pen that I used on the quote page to define the space for each day, and I'm also outlining all the boxes. I wasn't sure about the outline, but I just did it and hoped for the best. I'm actually going to stop using this gel pen in a future spread because it takes ages to dry and I always forget that when I'm going in with a razor to erase the pencil marks. So I decided to just change it for a marker that's a similar color. I did this calendar way off to the right side because I decided to use this particular sticker of the fairy on the vanity, and since it's quite big, I had to make sure I left enough space. Besides the collage that I'm going to do on the left side, I also put a strip of the lace PET tape across the top and the bottom of the spread, just to fill the space above and below the calendar. And I'm also using the same green letters to make the initials for each day of the week. So we have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and in Portuguese it means segunda, terça, quarta, quinta, sexta, sábado, and domingo. So that's why the initials are different from the English ones. We are now moving on to the weekly spreads, so starting with the first week, of course. On this one I went with a very simple and easy layout. It's basically dividing each page in quarters and you use one of those sections to decorate. It's a very common layout and it's very used because it really is easy to do and you have a very limited and defined space to decorate. So if you get overwhelmed when you have all this empty space on the page, the best you can do is limit that space so you can make a physical border like a square, a rectangle or any shape you want, or even an invisible border so that you can only decorate within that space, and that really helps. And this layout is an example of that. I couldn't really go outside the invisible borders because otherwise I would overlap with the functional sections. So on this one I wrote the days of the week wrong from the start, like I usually do every single first weekly spread, and because of that I had to remove all the number stickers that I already put, and that was very tedious. And also because of that I actually forgot to write the rest of the days of the week, and I only noticed that while I was editing, so unfortunately I didn't fix the mistake on the video, but I will do that off camera. For this next weekly, I'm randomly putting the functional sections on the spread. I only divided each page in half, so in total it makes 4 columns on the spread, and on each column I'm kinda dividing them in 3, but some sections are longer than others. So the functional ones have the same size all across the spread, and the rest is for decoration. I'm doing the same thing I did on the previous weekly with a row on the top, and it's going to be colored in sequence. Then to define the end of each functional section, I'm drawing a dashed line to imitate a stitch pattern. So this layout gives me 5 sections to decorate. The calendar pillow here is actually from another Patreon theme that Runa did before, but I didn't use it, and I thought this would actually look nice with the theme because of the ruffles on the outside, and the color fits this theme, so I used it here. And since the days of the week are already printed on the pillow, I went over it with a white acrylic marker. This one is from Artex, and when it's dry I can go over it with a purple marker and do the days of the week myself, because those letters did not match the Portuguese ones. And then for the rest of the decoration, I just picked stickers that would fit nicely in those spaces, not too small and not too big either. So I just put some of the papers and the washi tapes on each section, and then I could put the stickers on top. So this is a very easy way to do quick and minimal collages. Just a paper, a washi tape and a sticker. Let's move on to the next weekly, and this one I don't do a lot because it's a vertical layout. I usually don't do vertical or horizontal layouts a lot. I try to keep my weeklies kinda in the middle. They always end up being more rectangular or square even, but this layout in particular gives me a wide area to decorate, and I wanted to experiment with it a little. So I made 6 columns across the bottom of the spread, and the last one is divided in 2 because it's for the weekend. So we'll have Saturday on top and Sunday on the bottom. And on the top I'm using all the empty space to decorate with the papers, the tapes and of course the stickers. If you watch any of my videos, you may know by now that my favorite weekly layout to do is a Dutch door. I did one on my July plan with me, and that's because it always looks good. If you do a vertical Dutch door like I usually do, you end up with 2 columns on each side to decorate. So it helps a lot when you have a limited amount of decoration to use, or you just wanted to do a mirror decoration style, like I did in the previous video. But this time, instead of doing another Dutch door, I decided to show you some weekly layouts that are easy and simple to do and that have plenty of space to decorate because I had many stickers to use. And now for the last weekly layout, we have a fake Dutch door. This one is very good for when you have more than 1 week to put on a single spread, and this is because I didn't want to do another spread for the last 5 days of the month, so I decided to compile the last 2 weeks into one spread. So as I said before while I was explaining the Dutch door, in here the functional part is all in the middle of the spread and it leaves us 2 columns, one on each side to decorate. For this one I decided to make the functional sections wider because since it has more days into one spread, I wanted to leave more space for my mom to actually plan, and so the columns on the side are going to be thinner. But that's okay because the stickers I'm planning to use fit like a glove in here. For the decoration part, having a limited space actually works really well because this way I can get more creative, and one of the ways I like to do these ones is mirror. So instead of putting the stickers randomly on these columns, I did a mirrored decoration. And what I mean by this is that if I have an animal sticker on the left bottom side, I will have another animal on the top right side. If I have the floral frame more on the top on the left side, the other one will be more on the bottom on the right side. And then for the smaller stickers, I'm just using them to fill in the empty space and all the gaps in between the bigger stickers. Oh, and of course, behind all these stickers, we have the papers and the tapes also mirrored. We are now on the last spread of this setup, and as usual, this is going to be for the monthly expenses and a brain dump. So starting on the left page, here is where my mom can keep her finances on track. I did a table with 3 columns, so from left to right we have the item, the date and the price. And on the bottom we have the total. So here my mom can keep track of everything that goes out of her account. It can be monthly expenses like water, internet, and things like that. It can be random things that don't happen every month, like buying clothes, buying a gift for someone. So anything that goes out, she puts here. And that way she knows if she's within budget or pushing it a little bit. I'm actually thinking of adding an expenses tracker on my own bullet journal for next year. The one I did before didn't work for me, I didn't use it at all, but I saw a layout that I think can actually work, so we'll see in the future. Then for the right page, I called it brain dump before, but it's actually just an empty page that my mom can use for anything she wants. She can use this as an actual brain dump to literally dump any thought or any notes that she has, or she can use this as a memory keeping spread, like writing the memorable things that happened during the month, or she can leave this page just empty as it is. She can use this one literally for anything that she wants. It can also be a page that I didn't think about. And it's time for the final flip through. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, give a like, subscribe, and comment down below a ribbon and emoji to let me know you watched it till the end. This theme was very niche, but it's actually very appropriate for my mom because she loves sewing and all the hobbies related to that. She literally tries anything that has to do with a needle and a thread. I'm not into those things, but I actually really like how this setup turned out. The colors are perfect for spring or summer, and they look beautiful all together. My favorite detail is actually the lace tape. You guys know I use this lace tape set from the washi tape shop all the time in all of my journals because they are really versatile and the colors are just so dreamy. So tell me in the comments what theme you like more this month. Is it this fairy Tailor shop or my deep sea creatures theme? Well, I prefer my own because I was just vibing with the creepiness of that theme and it has some of my favorite spreads this year. But this theme is also very cute and it's perfect for this season. So let me know your opinion. Anything's valid. Anyway, I hope you have a lovely day or night wherever you are, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!